Friday on another beautiful day in Santa Fe, wearing my mask to start the webcast. Just to remind everybody, we are still dealing with COVID-19 even as we open up, as the governor relaxes some restrictions, as we start to look at restaurants providing inside seating. We're working on some outdoor seating. That doesn't change things, folks. We still are dealing with COVID-19, and we've got to stay safe so we can open up. Here's some data. The last week, how many new positive cases per day? 2, 1, 3, 2, 0, 4, 1. We average 1.86 cases, new cases per day over the last week. So it's up a little bit. We've been running below that, but now we had a day with 3, a day with 4. We need to keep the lid on. We need to make sure that everybody stays safe so we can open up. And we will be promoting, going forward, the resolution the council passed on Wednesday, the Santa Fe Promise, to promote a culture of public health, to stem the tide of COVID-19 outbreaks and ensure a safe return to financial prosperity. Very simple. Act as if you have COVID-19 and take precautions. Use hand sanitizers, wash your hands, practice social distancing, 6 feet. Still no mass gatherings. And when you go out into a public place, when you're going to enjoy shopping, when you're going to use our local merchants, spend some money, revive the economy, keep people working, put people back to work, have some fun, wear a mask. We all are responsible for wearing masks or some kind of face covering. It could be a bandana, could be a Oakland Raiders iconic face covering like the one Joe is wearing. Anything that protects not you, but everybody else. I just sent an email to a nice lady who sent me an email saying, I don't want to wear a face covering. I said, look at it this way. Originally, people were told it's safer to wear a seatbelt when you're driving your car, and there was a lot of resistance when that came into effect. Today, we take it for granted. We all buckle up. We do that when we're driving a car to protect ourselves and the passengers. When you put on a face covering, you're protecting everybody else. You're protecting the people you meet, your family, your friends, your grandma, your grandpa, auntie, uncle. When you put this on in close quarters, you are telling other people you care about them, you respect them, you want them to stay safe. Your mask protects me, my mask protects you. Other interesting things, not everything is COVID-19. Let's talk about a few other cool things. Benches at the dog park. I got some photos yesterday from the newly installed benches at the dog park. They are beautiful, they are level, they are giving shout outs to some folks and some pooches who have made a big difference in our community. The weather's great. The sky is blue. The dogs are happy. Remember to keep social distancing, and that's another place where it doesn't hurt to wear a face covering. You don't have to put the face covering on your pooch. That would make them into a mascot. But you do want to stay safe yourself and keep everybody else safe. Joe's giving me the drum roll. Election Day, Tuesday, June 2nd. I know it's been a very strange election season. My hat is off to all of the candidates who have been running under these very challenging circumstances. Ordinarily, everybody would be going door to door, door knocking, visiting on your doorstep, talking face to face about their campaign and why they want your support. This year it's been a little bit different, but people have been running. They've been running hard. They've been making a case for how they would represent each of us, represent you, represent me in the community. So please remember to vote, either in person or if you've gotten an absentee ballot, send it in. We need to really get good voting turnout so that the elections represent all of us in this community. Speaking of which, census update. I got a census update yesterday from the Municipal League. Here's the deal. Right now, across America, 60% of households have responded to the 2020 census. In New Mexico, only 47.6% of households have responded. That will absolutely hurt us in every way. It'll prevent money from flowing from Washington, D.C. back into our community, money we need for streets and roads and assistance for seniors and kids. That money is based on census data. And if we don't step up and fill out the census forms, we get hurt. So please, starting in August, as we get a little bit more clear with COVID, census workers are going to be going door to door to households that have not yet responded. So try to respond now. Go to the web. You can click on the My Census 2020 website. It's real easy. It takes 15 minutes, and it counts in every way. It counts for congressional representation, counts for the money that we get back from the federal government, and we need every dollar, I can tell you. We were honored. There's going to be a press release going out. The city of Santa Fe was awarded a LEED Gold certification. This is a sustainability award. We are only the second city in the country to get this recognition. It's really about how everybody in our community values sustainability, how much we care about our quality of life, our water use, our energy use, the way we look after the environment, our built environment, our homes, our buildings. This is a LEED Gold certification. It's a tremendous honor for all of Santa Fe and something that we should all take some pride in. Monday, June the 1st, mayors across America, thanks to the U.S. Conference of Mayors, are declaring a national day of mourning and lament as we cross the 100,000 mark of people who have died because of COVID-19. It's a solemn occasion. At noon, I'll have a proclamation. We'll be posting it on the city's website. We'll take a moment of silence to think about people we've lost. I know I've lost some friends to COVID-19. I'm sure you have too. People who we miss. We're sorry to have lost them to this disease that really has swept around the world. I was looking at some data yesterday. If you go back to March 19th, there were something like 10,000 COVID-19 cases in all of the United States. That's 10 weeks ago, 10,000 cases. Today we're at 1.7 million cases and more than 100,000 deaths. So we'll take a moment on Monday the 1st at noon to join with cities across America for a national day of mourning and lament over the people we've lost. A few other things worth bringing you up to date on. There's been a lot of Zoom meetings last week. I think one night my friend Joe, who is here, had 3 different Zoom meetings he was responsible for running. He had an H-board meeting. He had a Midtown campus update, meet the developer, talking about jobs and higher ed on the campus. There was a meeting of the City Council's Committee on Public Works and Public Utilities, all streaming on YouTube. I think it's a remarkable amount of creativity, innovation, entrepreneurial response to this unprecedented public health emergency that all of these communications are still going out. We're still having virtual city council meetings with people attending, watching on YouTube, meetings of working committees, all available on YouTube, all available through the city's website. So if you can't find it, can't find a meeting that you want to tune into, please go to the city's website, look for it. Still can't find it, send an email to the mayor's office. We'll help you find it. It is a part of this new world that we're moving into, where folks can work from home, attend a meeting from home, watch on Zoom or other platforms to tune in, get your voice heard, make sure that you're still plugged into your city government. We had a questionnaire up for about a week in both English and in Spanish, asking a number of questions about your priorities for the city. We're getting those results. They'll be published very shortly. I think there were more than 5,500 people who responded to the survey questions, asking about priorities, asking about what you think the city should be doing going forward, recognizing that we are in an unprecedented budget crunch. This past Wednesday, the City Council took very thoughtful action around our health benefits for our city employees. We're trying to balance taking care of our financial responsibilities to you as our taxpayers and our responsibilities to our employees, the people who deliver the services that you depend on, in this period of time where for the next month we're still trying to battle against a $46 million budget shortfall, and then looking ahead to the next year that starts July 1, we're looking at a $100 million budget shortfall. That is, depending on how you do the math, between 1/3 and 1/4 of all of our funds have disappeared because of the aftershock from COVID-19. We're a city of 85,000 people, but normally with our gross receipts tax coming from visitors, tourists, guests who come to town for Spanish market, Indian market, folk art market, the opera, just to come here and enjoy the beauty and the food and the culture and the history of Santa Fe, we punch way above our weight when it comes to revenue. This year, with COVID-19 closing things down, we're really going to be confronted by an unprecedented budget shortfall. We're going to look at some hard choices. We're going to look at ways to raise new revenues, including asking the federal government for help. There's a bill right now stalled in the Senate with Senator McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, refusing to take it up for a vote. There's a bill that would send something like $15 million to Santa Fe next year. Well, $15 million won't solve our $100 million budget deficit, but $15 million is nothing to sneeze at. We could use that. We could help keep services coming to you if we had that $15 million. We're going to be going to the state legislature and the governor asking for help. The state legislature in the past has moved to an internet sales tax that's not supposed to be refunded to cities for a whole year from now. But we know that when shops and stores were shut down for 2 months or more, people took their business to the internet. We could sure use that internet sales tax this year rather than waiting a whole year for that rebate to come back to city government. So we'll be looking at revenue. We'll be looking at the possibility of selling off city assets that we're not using, land that's lying fallow that could be turned into economically useful developments. We're going to look at everything. We're going to look at all possible ways to break through this $100 million budget deficit, and we're going to bring those proposals to the City Council for votes moving forward. We got to put together a budget. We have more time thanks to the governor and the state legislature. They're letting us have a little bit of a delay this year simply because this is such an extraordinary period of time. Now, the good news is that for the last 2.5 years, we've been very, very frugal. We more than doubled the reserves inside our city general fund. We've taken it from $6 million to more than $14 million. That cushion will help, but again, even if we used all of it, $14 million won't solve a $100 million budget deficit. We'll tap that reserve. We had great financial management that reduced our debt when we had to pay for things that we had already issued bonds against. We refinanced that debt to drive down how much we have to spend, so we'll be able to manage the debt. We had a big meeting over this past week with ratings agency to talk about how we keep our bond rating up. Right now we're a AA plus, which means when we issue bonds to do things like pave streets, fix parks, do things that make the city more beautiful, work more efficiently for you, we don't have to spend extra money because our bond rating lets us borrow that money very inexpensively. So we were pointing out just what a good fiscal manager the city of Santa Fe has been for the past 2.5 years, and we're hoping to keep our bond rating high, safe, and intact. So all of that is going on. I hope you'll pay attention. I hope you will recognize that we're all in this together, both with COVID-19 and with our fiscal crisis. There's an old saying that was promoted by a senator from Minnesota who once said, "We all do better when we all do better." And that's how we're approaching both the health crisis, the health emergency, and the fiscal crisis, the fiscal emergency. They go together. When we're safe, we can reopen. When we reopen, we not only have more fun, but we support our local merchants, stores, restaurants, the mom and pop shops that are the backbone of our economy. So remember, stay safe. We're opening. We're doing it together. That's the Santa Fe promise. Safe, open, together. That's how we enter this summer. That's how we work to solve the health crisis and address our financial crisis. Thank you for watching. Thanks for another good week in Santa Fe where we've kept the lid on COVID-19. We're opening safely. We're going to be putting restaurants into the streets, into the sidewalks. We're going to be having some fun. We're looking at things, all kinds of activities, knowing that it's been tough to have to stay home and be quarantined. Now that we're opening, we want to have some fun. We want to have outdoor activities, parks, trails, bikes, open and fun. We still have to be very careful. There's a lid on public meetings. The governor did not raise the meeting level above 5, so we've got to be cautious, but we're still going to have some fun this summer. We're going to support our local stores, shops, restaurants, mom and pop operations that deserve our help, because we want those people to go back to work and stay healthy. And we want you to stay healthy and safe as we reopen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for doing the right thing for Santa Fe, for our whole community. Have a safe, healthy, open weekend. Remember, safe, open, together. That's how we move forward. Take care. I'll see you next week.